crimson skies our ship prevails. Across the stars, a celestial flight, metal warriors bound by might. Ooh, yeah. In this realm of shadows, darkness unfurled.
Isis sails and
In the abyss of the cosmos we set sail. Through crimson skies our ship prevails. Across the stars a celestial flight, metal warriors bound by might. Ooh, yeah. In this realm of shadows darkness unfurls. A symphony of chaos, where planets whirl and nebula, a fury untamed, sailing through the void where nothing's the same. We ride through the cosmos, a metal storm, defying gravity, our spirits transform. Through supernovas and celestial clouds, our stellar voyage forever in the sky.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest stream. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I hope those who could see the solar eclipse enjoyed it. I've seen it twice in my life, which just makes me feel old. Good morning, Anthony, Rob, Wolfos. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I might be a bit low energy today. I only got like 3 hours sleep. So interesting thing. After my surgery, I decided I'm going to take a bit of a what would you call it? Cleanse would be the best word. So I stopped drinking anything except water, and I didn't eat sugar, and then my headaches and migraines went away. But this week, my headaches and migraines have come back as soon as I started doing all that stuff again. So now we need to narrow down exactly what's causing the headaches and migraines. All right, Anthony, I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to pop in. Actually, I think we're... So I have full range for the first time in Unknown. So that means I have full male range from falsetto all the way down to baritone. You know, the usual range. Maybe a bit higher than the average. Thank you, Darth Squirrel. Much appreciated. Good morning, Kenneth. Hope you're doing well. So, good news. Operation was 100% success. I have regained use of my vocal cords for all the ranges that I could possibly want. They didn't install the remote I asked for with the RGB lights, but, you know, what are you going to do? Because everybody knows, with RGB lights, it's better. So you just put all the different colors and just have them shining through the neck. Just leave a little window over here for the light to shine through. But he wouldn't. Anthony, that's the one thing I didn't give up, which is the caffeine. So it's not caffeine. I was still drinking coffee. And I was still drinking my hydration mix, which has caffeine in it. So it's not the hydration mix, it's not coffee. It's either something to do with the Monsters and Red Bulls, or something to do with the mixing cool drink, or both. I think it might be too much salt. But I could be wrong. Doing as well as it can be, Kenneth. Doing as well as it can be. So just keeping on, keeping on. So, yeah. We are back better than ever, except stamina. Stamina's going to take a while to get back. No timeline on that. It's just about pushing the voice, doing my bottle exercises with my special super bottle, which I upgraded yesterday. So now we're at more water. So adds more resistance. But yeah, I mean, yesterday I got back home at I got back home at 3 o'clock. So it was a bit late to start a stream. So I left home at 10 and I got back at 3. So it was definitely too late for a stream. So I quickly knocked out a video. Because, you know, we've started feeding the algorithm. It's starting to like being fed again. So we don't want to stop that. No, I'm not picking my nose. I've got curly hairs tickling my nose hairs. So it's probably, I need to shape the top, trim the top hairs here, and then cut the nose hairs. So that doesn't happen. But that is a lot of effort. Well, it's not a lot. It's effort, which is... Yes, the prickly starch definitely strikes again. Good morning, Jeremy. It is my pleasure. I am glad you're enjoying the content. Right. Let's see if we can knock out 2 stories today. Gotta push those vocal cords. They gotta get big and strong. Like Arnold. We call them Arnold voice. Fair enough, Rob, fair enough. But it's also my profession, so can't not do it for too long. I would say both epic and creepy, seeing as she starred in the movie. Alright. One writer. Writer open. Just lining everything up, just so. And there we go. My head is only blocking some of the screen. Good morning, DeSoto. I hope you're well. Right, today we're doing a double whammy for tonight. It is an 8-minute story, a 6-minute story, and a 4-minute story, so quite short. And then we'll try do a second video as well. Gotta remind those vocal cords who's boss. It's them. It's always them. Let's not get a... I'm glad to hear that, DeSoto. I'm glad, really am. Well, the problem with German is it looks like Afrikaans, so I kind of pronounce it like Afrikaans, which sounds like crappy German. That's the main problem. That's my excuse, and I'm going to stick to it till the day I die. Or not. But I don't know what sound effects. Oh, you're conflicted about the sound effects in that story. Which ones? And why? Just out of curiosity. I mean, can't change it. Well, I'm going to phrase that. I won't change it, because it's already published. But because the sound effects are a new thing, criticism is welcome. Criticism's always welcome, as long as it's constructive. Why? Ah, yes, I'm cutting that off. There we go. Put the text up there. Awesome. Stuff and things are happening. It's exciting. I might even be learning the streaming thing. Not going to be good at it, but learning it. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys this. So, this song. UU63, it's my pleasure. I'm glad that it helps you during your work. I really am. And I'm really glad you enjoy it. Listen to the lyrics.
The spacemen sail the cosmic bay. From Jupiter to Saturn we'll deliver our freight on our starship, sailing through the interplanetary strait. With a hardy crew and a cargo of dreams, through the nebula's mist we'll forge our own schemes. In the vastness of space where no man has been, we'll navigate, chart the unexplored galactic highway. Heave ho, mateys, upon the starry sea. We're the spacemen sailing through infinity. With our voices loud and our spirits free, we'll voyage across the celestial sea. Voyage across the celestial sea.
Anyway, this is a fake song. Let me see, what did I miss there? Andrew, I don't. I use restream.io, so it should start streaming at the same time. The initiation process of a stream just could take longer, or is a bit of lag. I know it does that sometimes, but then it equalizes out to a couple seconds. Well, Jeremy, as long as you're enjoying the old stuff. I am re-recording everything up until 700. So, I mean, then you can make a direct comparison. Yes, learning is the first step, and I don't think you ever get good at streaming, just capable. Red Vex, I'm knackered. I got 3 hours of sleep, woke up with a headache, so, good Monday. What is today? Tuesday. That's how bad of a Monday is. It continued. Fair enough, Captain. Fair enough. That sucks. I hate nights like that. Yes, live. So do we all like? There's a AI that generates music now. It's been around for a while. So I was playing with it the other day, and I made a sea shanty, and that was the sea shanty. And this one's also it. This is also a 100% fake song. This isn't sung by a person. This is sung by an AI.
Across the stars, a celestial flight, metal warriors bound by might.
Fair enough, Redvex. I've had days like that as well.
In this realm of shadows, darkness unfurls. A symphony of chaos.
Thank you, Leighton. I'm definitely getting better. The healing is 100%ly done. 100%ly is not a word. It's all done, which is good. Just need to build up the stamina again. Just like any sets of muscles. Can't just go from not using them for a month, using them very sparingly over a month, 2 months, to using them full bore. Anyway, that's 100%-ish. Yeah. Coffee. So if you are new here, I am going to be recording tonight's video now. Yeah, I hate it when they give you such a large time. It's just like, well, just give me a specific time, then I'll be there. Yeah, so if you're new, I'm going to be doing tonight's stories video. If you don't want spoilers, then you probably want to click off. But if you want to watch me record it, have a chit-chat, chinwag, gollylag, whatever you want to call it, we can do it, yeah. I like to think that the two are different enough that you can enjoy both, but some people will, some people won't. Yes. Medicinal donuts, I had some the other day. Definitely helped. Always take the medicinal donuts. Unfortunately, when you tell a doctor to give you a prescription for medical donuts, they look at you funny. They look at you like you've got a turnip growing out your ear. Very much, Red Vex, very much. Well, I'm glad to hear you're out of hospital, Plexus. I really am. And how are you doing? Feeling better? Okay, so that was disclaimer number 1. Disclaimer number 2. Well, not disclaimer, just kind of an explanation of what's going to happen. By we, I mean I, will go and assign voices. I've got a list of voices that I can do, and I'll assign all the voices that need in this story. If you've been around for the last week or so, you might be getting used to some of the voices, the codes, but I will explain the codes as I go. Other than that, once I've done all the marking out of the voices, I shall go and narrate it. With the proper tone and everything. Plexus, I have to do that as well. So, I mean, you just get used to it. I take several pills, and I'm going to have to take these pills for the rest of my life. So, It is what it is. It's better than the alternative. Leighton, not a problem. That's why I gave the warning. This video will be up in about 12 hours. So you can look forward to that. Don't know what I've done to my thumb. This thumb, specifically. Got a pain behind my nail. And I know I didn't slam it in a door or anything. And it's not a bad enough pain to go to a doctor about, but it's enough to be annoying. And one. No, because the hangnail's at the front, not the back. Or the sides. This is basically just directly under the cuticle. That's where the pain is. I think it's the way I've been playing a game. What it's called? I don't know. It's designed for a controller, so the keyboard layout is crap. So I think that might be what's causing it. Or maybe I just banged it. That's also possible. Excuse me. Cheers, Jeremy. It's fully understandable. Thank you for popping past and saying hello. It is much appreciated. Your state is too weak to survive in this harsh galaxy. We demand a list of terms to assure the protection of our mutual interest to survival. What are you talking about? The damn transmission was the greatest mistake of our time. But who could have guessed it would have turned out like this? The humans were a fledgling interstellar race. The escorts they sent for a first contact were armored and in sort of composite plating. Blah 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 blah. Crude blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So this, I suppose, is to denote a letter. So we'll read that in a posh voice. No. No. Sounds interesting. But when it comes to sandwiches, I'm pretty simple. You know, cheese, maybe peanut butter, not necessarily on the same one. Some jam, cheese and chutney. Oh, cheese and onion, very nice. Ham and hot English mustard. So I'm pretty boring when it comes to sandwiches. Thank you, Plexus. Much appreciated. Cheeseburger with mayo. Sure. Peronaise. Oh, peronaise. There we go. That's peri-peri sauce mixed with mayonnaise. Oh, nom nom. Anyways, so snooty voice, normal voice. Snooty voice. Normal voice. Normal voice. Good evening, the Peanut Gallery. Hope you're doing well. Don't know why I keep holding the microphone and making bashing noises. I'm not an announcer in the middle of a ring. I don't have to hold. I've got this fancy arm thing to hold the microphone. So I have no idea why I keep doing that. We'll say it's added sound effects. Fair enough, Redvex, fair enough. And look, I used to be adventurous with my sandwiches as well. One of my mom's favorites used to be a crisp, or I don't know, crisps? Potato chips on a sandwich, which isn't too bad. Very crunchy. Oh, this is M3, Snooty Voice, M1. Thank you for popping past, VIP. It is very much appreciated. I hope you have a fantastic day at school. And get some good sleep. Well, some sleep. With only 2 hours to go. And then there is the eternal slop chip salmi, which is by far the best. So that is French fries on bread with tomato sauce or your chosen condiment for chips, and then another slice of bread. It's very nice. A roll is better. Panini roll is even better than that. You know, fish paste. We have, that's a thing. Marmite as well, which is kind of like Vegemite. I find, Marmite's okay. Strangely enough, I've been ambivalent towards Marmite my whole life. You know, take it and leave it. If there's a Marmite salmi, I might eat it. If there's not a Marmite salmi, I'll probably eat it. You know, I didn't dislike it enough to not eat it, but I didn't actively go look for it. But after my sinus surgery and my emergency sinus surgery, I had such a huge craving for Marmite. It was ridiculous. I lost the taste for coffee, so coffee didn't taste right to me, which thankfully has come right. And then Marmite. I just was craving Marmite. So I was having Marmite salmis, I was having Marmite Pravitas, the whole thing. Now, I've seen poutine. It looks interesting. We have something. It's called bunny chow. If you like poutine, you will like bunny chow. So what bunny chow is, I'm trying to find a nice picture. It's normally done with curry, but there are lots of different ways. So you take unsliced bread, you cut it in half, you hollow out the bread, you put the stuff you want inside the bread, and it's like nice and gooey, and then you just eat it. It's called bunny chow. Why it's called bunny chow, I don't know. But there you go. It's true, Redvex, but it was only those two very specific things that it messed with, which was coffee and Marmite. Everything else was fine. So it was just very weird. But it's gone back to normal now, so coffee. And then Marmite's gone back to being whatever. Something like that. But it's just a normal loaf of bread. So it's not even a specifically cooked loaf of bread. It's just an unsliced loaf of bread. Preferably a little stale. so it's harder. And then normally they pour curry into it, top it with some chips. That chips would be French fries. Or you just put French fries and cheese in there. Some people do that. Huh. She knows. As Ryan came in, my duty as the admiral of the defeated fleet was to brandish the great shame of surrender. And sign the treaty that would condemn my people to chattel. Okay, so this is human. We shall go with the infamous old man voice. We shall read articles, legal articles in a snooty voice, because I think that is law somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's law. That if you read a legal article or notice or document, you have to speak in a snooty voice. I think that was in the terms and conditions of becoming a voice actor that I signed way back when. Although it would be funny to read it in a Cockney voice. I think that's a bit much. And henceforth, furthermore, you shall never click the button again. I don't know. Maybe. Look, I mean, the names for stuff comes from a whole bunch of stuff. And we've got 11 official languages, so it could be related to Afrikaans or one of the other languages as well. Out of the 11 official languages, I speak one, which is English. We'll go with M3. No, we'll go with M4. Cowardly voice. That sounds quite nice. I just have basic dark roast filter coffee. Not filter coffee, instant coffee. We tried filter coffee for a while, but I was the only person drinking it, so if any pot ever got made, I'd have to drink the entire pot. Which is fine, but it takes time, and it's sitting on the burner plate for too long would burn the coffee. So, yeah. And then I've been thinking of an espresso machine, but those things do tend to be quite expensive. Just the maintenance cost and just buying the little pod things. M4. Yep. M2. I think. Greetings and salutations, Tara. I hope you're doing well this morning. I'll look into the Keurig. Like I said, for me, if it just does like one, I used to have a filter machine that was like a single cup filter machine, but I went through like 3 of them because they kept breaking, maybe overuse. We believe that it will be benefit for your civilization if the strong guiding hand of humanity is present to steer the course. Why can't you leave us be? There's supposed to be a space there. There we go. That's why that made me confused. Snivelly voice. And M2, then M4, M2, yeah, I mean, like I said, I had one that brewed a cup. Specifically, it came with 2 cups, and you could either brew 1 cup or 2 cups, and it was fine. But they didn't last. And it wasn't cheap. So I just stuck with instant coffee. All right. I mean, at one point, we even had one of those espresso cappuccino machines, filter coffee machines. It was like, oh, that's cool. Just never used it. Too much effort. All right. I think we are... Oh, no, wait, we're not. I need to turn the screen on. So excuse this very, very, very intimate look at my not large nose. There we go. Almost poked an eye out with that. I apologize. I apologize. Good morning, Icy Phoenix. Recovery is going slowly. According to the doctor, I have my full range back, which is fantastic. I actually have more than my full range. I actually have a full range for an adult male, which is fantastic news. My stamina still not there. That is still going to take weeks, if not months, to work back. But we'll get there. We'll get there. My voice is a bit haggard today because I didn't really sleep. And I got a blistering headache, so fun. Good morning, Kovash. Hope you're doing well. Right, teleprompter software. Hello, teleprompter. Okay, for now for the recording bit. For those of you who are new to this, we're going to go screen, and you're going to see the green screen. Because I'm recording the video, I can't split the video out for stream and raw or video for editing, so we do the raw video for editing. Although something is not quite right here. Slower this and lower this. No. Up. Yeah, man. That's better. There we go. Just fiddling with the teleprompter there to get it the right height. Unfortunately, the series do come last because of just how much they earn compared to TFOS. I already had 3 weeks of not making any videos, so the channel has taken a hit. So we need to build that up again as well, is the algorithm. The algorithm got a bit snippy with me, so we need to work that friendship back. Say friendship, but you know, anything. Thank you, Kovash. Thank you. Hagrid. Well, I think the problem with the ones that I bought was they got overused, so they overheated, and then something broke inside. I'm not too sure. Fair enough. James Coltrane, if you're interested, is the actor's name. He had quite a few series and stuff on BBC. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. The algorithm is based off of a lot of things, so if you stop uploading, it's not going to recommend your stuff. See, the algorithm needs to realize you're uploading again, so they can push your stuff out to people. Right. Glasses off. Oh. Good night, Kenneth. Hope you sleep well. And I hope tomorrow is a fantastic day. Oh, we need a recording software. That helps. Very difficult to record audio if you don't have your recording software open. Record and record. Right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called We're the Vassals Now, written by Drifty241. That damned transmission was the greatest mistake of our time, but who could have guessed that it would have turned out like this? The humans were a fledgling interstellar race. The escorts they sent for the first contact were armored in assorted composite plating, and their weaponry was little more than crude nuclear missiles. With only 10 systems under mankind's banner, they were a weakness, a bypass to the defensive line of the Zeptide. Yo. A bypass to the defensive line of the Zeptide state. So, we did what we always do. A transmission was sent to the humans. Your state is too weak to survive in this harsh galaxy. We demand that list of terms to ensure the protection of our mutual interests. Survival. Term 1. The current governing body of humanity, the Planetary Treaty Organization, is disabled. A Zeptide client state will be created that encompasses all of your territories, barring exceptions. Term 2. Sirius will be seized by the Zeptide state. Term 3. A tithe of slaves, energy, and minerals will be shipped to Xeric Prime annually. Term 4. The human armored forces will be disbanded. Term 5. Border fortifications will be created on the frontier with a 5-run coalition to the galactic south. These terms are non-negotiable, and failure to comply within 1 month will result in the declaration of war with the stated aim of achieving these terms. The humans waited for 27 days before responding. In that period, revolts and unrest spread across the Zeptide nation, while the Gox launched a rebellion. Everyone could tell this was a work of human meddling. Trying to figure out which voice is supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, yes, it could be minor strain. I'm not too worried about it, it's just annoying. It's not like it's rotting off. That's always good. One of the most important values of the modern human society. One of the most important values of modern human society is the pursuit of freedom of all individuals. One of the most important values of modern human society is the pursuit of freedom for all individuals. We have gathered information from your other client states that these values cannot be upheld. The Zeptide state has placed the Gox, Coryx, and Feltham under an oppressive vassalage, eradicating entire cultures in favor of your own and censoring history. We're under no delusion. This is a human. One of the most important values of modern humanity. One of the most important values of modern human society is the pursuit of freedom for all individuals. We have gathered information from your other client states that these values cannot be upheld. The Zeptide state has placed the Gox, Coryx, and Feltham under an oppressive vassalage, eradicating entire cultures in favor of your own and censoring history. We are under no delusions that you will act any different with humanity. As such, the human populace has elected to refuse your ultimatum. We will not be the general government. We will not be the general government to your Germany. We couldn't pursue the humans for this insult. The Navy had focused on putting down the second Gox insurrection. We would let them be, if only momentarily. 20 years passed. Human society had completely transformed. New systems, worlds, and peoples fell under the flag of man. Weapons development ventures doubled and then tripled. Forges burnt with fires and alloys a day. Forges, missed the place. Forges, weapons development ventures doubled, then tripled. Forges burned with the fires of alloys day and night. Fleets were assembled and men signed up in droves. Our transmission had awakened something, serving as the kindling for a long-dead martial spirit, eager to burn across our worlds. But Zeptia was stronger. Our grand flotillas were the bane of all the Orion. No species had resisted, and humanity would not be the first. The transmission was once again sent to Earth, albeit more strongly worded. But now, the response was not a passionate defense of egalitarianism. It had been replaced by the declaration of war. Your transmission 2 decades ago injected adrenaline into the apparatus of human society. We have toiled for 2 decades to prepare for this day. As such, humanity has elected to declare a state of war between our nations with the intent to destroy your systems of government and liberate all of the oppressed peoples under your control. The response was mocked and scoffed at. The human opinion was that there was no species as worthless as an arrogant man. The common opinion was that there was no species as worthless an arrogant man who dared to point a sword at his only route out of war. That was our first mistake of many. The human fleets, now modernized and enlarged, surged over the border. Our scattered, demobilized task forces were isolated and destroyed in their moorings, while worlds fell under the human jackboot faster than planetary defense could hastily be organized. A lightning campaign like never seen before had swept up our nation. It hadn't even been considered that humanity could ever touch Zeptide core. It hadn't even been considered that humanity could ever touch the Zeptide core, but they entered unopposed by the once reserved arsenal of our kind. That was where I came in. My duty as the admiral of a defeated fleet was to brandish the great shame of surrender and sign the treaty that would condemn my people to chattel. Admiral Myrax, thank you for coming. We'll skip the pleasantries. Just read the document and sign here, said President Marcus, gesturing towards the thick slab of paper. Terms of surrender for the Zeptide state. Article 1. The governing body of Zeptide society will be disbanded. A new civilian government will be created under human supervision to aid in the removal of extreme ideologies. Article 2. Xeric Prime will be placed under military occupation for an undefined period of time. So far, the treaty seemed just like any other. They would remove our noble overseers, send our people to the re-education camps, and destroy our heritage. Article 3. The Zeptian Navy will be reduced to 6 cruisers, 67 destroyers, 127 patrol craft. Article 4. The governing body... Oh, I missed that. That's not a change in voice. Article 4. The governing body will be formally educated. Article 4. The governing body will be formally inducted into the Solar Treaty Organization as a client state. You want to vassalize us? I gasped, rereading the sentence multiple times. You have a sixth sense of humor, you humans. We believe that it will benefit your civilization if the strong guiding hand of humanity is present to steer the course, stated the President Marcus blandly, hiding his real feelings. Why can't you just leave us be? For the same reason you tried to subjugate us. We realized that your state posed a risk to galactic stability. So we neutralized it, and now want to oversee this region to ensure continued peace. We have to defend ourselves, just like you. You said that like you. You said that like you won't. You said that like you put down a sick animal. You destroyed our proud civilization, I shouted. You brought it a giant content to slumber. The Zeptide state was responsible for its own collapse. End of story. Just recording the ambient noise of the room so that we can go do this. Let's catch up on some stuff that's happening. Fair enough. I am a friend. Not with the D, though. Good night, Kenneth. Ah, I already said that. Kind of. Phoenix, I'll go through the edit now. I don't actually do the editing for these videos. Sometimes there's ambient pet noises, but I don't think there's any today. So, Phoenix, what happens is these are edited by my editor / wife. She was the wife first, then became the editor. Because it's easy to chop up audio. It is not easy to chop up audio and video at the same time. So, my wife does the scrolling text and all the editing. So, the editing I'm speaking about for this particular thing is what they call mastering, which just means I make sure that there's noise reduction, because I've got the ambient noise around, so we remove the noise, so that will take the sample that I just took and remove it from the whole story. So that's just the ambient noise. We're going to enlarge it so that we can see these peaks over here. As you can see, this is quite bad. Then we're going to hard remove a layer of noise that the first removal didn't pick up. Then we normalize. As you can see, now all the peaks are pretty much the same. And then we lower the volume. So now no part of the story is any louder than any other part of the story. And that's all the editing I do for these videos. I'll save this, send it over to my wife. She'll sync up the video and the audio, grab this text, and then chop it up, put the text in, put the sound effects in, and away we go. And that's generally how it works. With the series, it works slightly different. Because there's no video, I can edit as I go. So if I make a mistake, I just cut it out and then record again. Hope that explains something. Made sense in some way. Right, just exported it to MP3. Open up a new audio file. But first, story number 2 for the same video. This will be a much shorter story. Crusader, it was good. Tests show that I've got regained full vocal range, which is fantastic news. So before I only had partial range, now I have full range, which is awesome. The stamina is still something that's going to take a while to work on. So, you know, that's going to work on it every single day, push that up. As for my day, I've had better mornings, had worse mornings. Got about 3 hours sleep, which affects the voice. And I get a headache, so yay. How are you doing, Crusader? Nothing's gonna happen, Icy. I've spent a ridiculous amount of money trying to ensure that nothing happens to my voice. Not as in, like I insured my voice, as in doing surgeries and stuff to keep my voice from deteriorating. And give me as much stamina as possible. At least that's the hope. And then we just read this all in normal voice. Yeah, this just looks like letters and stuff, so we just use a normal voice for the whole thing. I'm trying to build up Twitch, Mr. Enigma, so that if something happened to the YouTube channel, for whatever reason, there is at least still an avenue that I can interact with people. But whatever's easiest for you. Well, that definitely helps, Enigma. It definitely helps. How many are watching? There is a combined chat on the screen. I don't know whether you can actually see it. Can we see it? Yes, we can, if you enlarge the screen. So, both YouTube, well, all of YouTube, Zitter, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called, and Twitch, all in the combined chat over here. which just won't show when I'm recording a video, which is about to happen in T- now. Okay. I'm gonna have to get creative with some of these names, but sure. Let's rock on! Yeah, I mean, I'm using Restream.io, which has a combined chat function in it. So, that's... I think there is still a bit of delay between YouTube and Twitch, but there's nothing I can do about it. Enigma, you're talking to me about the extension. Right. Which extension are you talking about specifically? The latest followers below the stream. Oh, right. Oh, all the overlay stuff. Yeah, I need to sort that out. Problem is, it wouldn't be on this screen. So if I did overlays and stuff, it'll be here and here. Here, I can't have anything on the screen because this is the raw footage for the video. So there's that to remember. And yes, I do need to integrate followers and stuff. I'm not really a consumer of Twitch, nor really a user of it, so I'm just learning as I go. But I'll definitely look into the alert system. Fair enough, Phoenix. Well, I'll be streaming at roughly the same time every day, 6 days a week. So that is 10 a.m. GMT plus 2 all until I'm finished for the day. Which will probably, once my stamina is returned, be 5 or 6 hours. Anyways, let's quickly record story number 2. Record. Right. No. Story number 2. Ban those damn human players. Written by Real Nectarine 7986. Message from disgruntled player to Interspecies Gaming Corporation. Good day to everyone in the IGC. I am writing you this message on behalf of a total of 15 teams out of the participating 16 during the last hour's VR MMO finals. We would formally like to request that human players be banned forever and the championship be redone. My team has won the championship for the last decade, fair and square, without breaking the rules, and of the last 14 other teams, without breaking the rules. And of the 14 other teams, half of them are well-renowned teams who are capable of giving us a run for the championship. Then the upstart new species came along, joined the galactic community, and their very first championship they somehow not only managed to win, but they did so with only 25% of their total health stat remaining. Not counting the qualifier rounds, of course. That is impossible, plain and simple, to do without cheating in some form or another. I have taken the liberty to list their usernames below for you to check their records. Team leader is Hold My Beer 1944. Second is Bombs Away 1945. They think they are cute _9. Eat SH1T. Chinese Sausage 65252. Deutsch Switch. Schnitzeljagd. Deutsch Schnitzeljagd 3364. Bismarck for president 1864. Russian bias bitch 85. Simba the Lion King 1994. Not so serious 1. Leroy Jenkins LOL. Big dick is bigger than yo mate. Biggest dick is bigger than you, mate. Best of wishes and hope to hear from you again soon. Player user Lou Uta. Response from IGC. Dear player Lou Uta, we have received your request, and after considerable deliberation and investigation, we have decided not to follow through with your request. The human team, Team Shepherd, showed no signs of ever breaking the rules or even using foul play outside of active combat. Team Shepherd has been asked about a certain peculiarity, though. Team Shepherd has been asked about a certain peculiarity, though. 5 rounds into their qualifiers, they were losing. But afterwards, they suddenly began, as they say, steamrolling through the rest of the championship. We'd suggest taking a detailed look at the player logs we're about to release on the website. With kind regards, the IGC team. Team log, Team Shepherd qualifiers, end round 5. The team from the elf-like Thuntala. The team from the elf-like Thuntala people were busy roasting the new team, Team Shepherd. Get good, you noobs, the leader sent the message. Moments later, a response came. Getting good now. Better hold on to your diapers. For the next 15 minutes, not a single human player was killed, and none dies for the next 7 qualifiers either. Finals. Team Shepherd set up their position in an old tower in the center of the map and was scanning the entire field, making note of where each of the other 15 teams was situated. They then left in teams of 4, ambushing 2 teams who were embroiled in combat, ran across the damned map to bomb the crap out of another team's base by sneaking past their sentry turret, while the team was busy preparing their next move. Next, they used some ancient weapons we placed around the map as decorations to bombard 3 other teams. Nobody expected those antique cannons to work. The leader of Team Shepherd commented, Is this map modeled after World War I? They even got the markings and ordnance correct on these siege mortars. Load 'em up, guys! Next day, they took out 3 teams who had united to defeat them, including the team of Liu Uta, and found them in the trench network near the artillery piece they had just used to scare the ever-living crap out of the nearby teams who heard the booming sounds of those shells. And Team Shepherd decided to continue with loud noises by utilizing grenades. Once the last 3 teams were dead, the humans left to hunt down the last remaining team hiding in the forest. Good thing the game engines do not allow render. Good thing the game engine does not render blood, because the next events would have been unprecedentedly bloody, as the humans decided to utilize combat knives to finish off the half-strength team. Many people watching the log recognized the team was the Tantala team, who had told them to get good. Before the humans killed their last opponent, they gave a simple message. We got good, yeah. End of story. Icy Phoenix, Twitch also has inbuilt alerts, so you can use. So I'll probably look into that. Problem with Stream Elements is it wants you to download a specific version of OBS, which I don't really want to do. Yes, I don't know how. I suppose it's a meme now, bigger stickers. Hopefully it doesn't get me demonetized again. It's a joke, YouTube. It's a joke. It's a real thing. It's a joke. Please don't penalize me, YouTube. I'm sorry. I've still not managed to do 3 YouTube streams in a row without getting demonetized or limited ads. Pretty sure it's swearing. Their version of swearing a lot and my version of swearing a lot are 2 very different things. Alright, so that's tonight's video done. Well, that only works when I acknowledge that I'm going to swear. It's normally a reactive thing. If I was thinking about it, I wouldn't swear. So that's the problem with the bleep thing. It's like, well, okay, I need to stop and think about what I'm about to say. It doesn't really happen. That's why the swearing gets me into trouble. Coffee. Actually, it's easier for me. I'm used to editing the swear words on the fly because I read it, process it, and then say it. So there's time for my brain to go, okay, let's use another word. But when I'm just speaking out of the top of my head, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So, yeah, swearing is pretty common in South Africa. Not as common as, like, Australia, but it's still pretty common. Especially in a trade family that I grew up in. Although my dad didn't swear too much. All the people he worked with, however, swear a lot. It's quite funny, Red Vex. Good morning, Brian. I hope you're doing well. I think we can do another story. I think so. I think my voice may be able to handle it. Maybe. Maybe. So, we're exiting that. We're training a new one of these. And we're opening this up. Nope, this. I'm glad to hear that, Brian. All right, let's start with the voices. What are we doing? Right. Well, yes. You would be cussing cousins. It's definitely true. Right, voice time. M1. The normal voice. M1. Still the normal voice. M1. M1. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Clicked the wrong button there. M1. 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 So this is a single 13-minute story. No, not really. The length of the story does strain the voice, but the amount of voices in the story strains it more. So a 13-minute story with one voice, my normal voice, puts very little strain on my voice. But a 5-minute story with 20 voices would put an extreme amount of strain on the voice. So it swings and roundabouts. The story seems mostly my normal voice, my normal narration voice, so we should be able to do that without too much of a problem. Okay, what the hell is this? Excuse me. Okay, I have no idea what that is. Static, I'd imagine. Yeah, so whispering is also bad for you. Just a random factoid. Whispering and shouting are bad for you. Shouting more so than whispering. But when you injure your voice, they tell you to neither shout nor whisper because you're putting extra strain on your vocal cords. Just as a random thing. So this is going to be a sound effect of static. I think that looks like static to me. I just want to make a note of this for later editing. Good morning, Joe. Hope you're doing well. What story is this? This is 2361. I was just making sure to make a note of that so we don't forget. We being the editor. And me. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, they're both putting a different type of strain on your voice. So, for whispering, you're tightening your muscles that much more to keep so much more control over them to get sound out. So, yeah, that was interesting. I didn't know either. Why have you come so far? Why have you come so far? Why? Sing-songy. I don't know what the... I don't have a voice for sing-songy. So we call it sing-songy. M1. I think we'll just do a nice M10 here. Sing-songy. M10. M sing-songy. I have no idea how I'm going to do sing-songy, but it's a learning experience for everyone. It's getting there, Joe. It's getting there. So I went to the doctor yesterday, and the operation was a full success. I now have full range of vocals that I should have. However, the stamina is still lacking, but not 1M, M1, which is just going to take some time to get there. So it's definitely getting better. But we're getting there, Joe. We're getting there. It'll still be several months until we've rebuilt all the stamina, because it's all muscles and stuff that needs to be strengthened again. So another thing my doctor said is, with laryngitis or anything that affects your throat, you must never not talk for more than 2 days. You need to start talking. So that was interesting. It's about atrophy. So like a sprained ankle that they want you to get back onto your ankle and working it. So if you don't talk during your recovery, it takes longer. Whereas if you talk, it comes quicker. Sing-songy. Do. Yeah, not easy to explain. My voice tends to go a bit more flat, so it's there now. It's a bit flat. A bit more of the vocal fry. So we're pushing the upper limits. But I think that's just because I'm dehydrated and didn't sleep well. more than anything that is related to the operation. And of course, I mean, if you're feeling pain, stop, he says. I ignored that for 2 years. I was offered what we'd been hoping for. I became worried about the message. I didn't respond in time with the voice events. Like I said, it's the same voice. Is this the same voice? I'm glad to be back, Joe. I'm glad to be back. But these streams are going to be a constant, I think. Ever evolving, ever changing. So this will be a part of the thing. Aiming for 4 to 6 hours a day, which is normally how much I work. Because we've been going for 2 hours already, or an hour and a half. Hour and a half. And we've only done one story. So with my normal workload, that should be a 6-hour stream. Began to cascade. Okay, this is also the sing-songy voice. Sing-songy. Sing-songy. Sing-songy, I think. Sing-songy. And then sing-songy. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's 3 voices. Another thing for like a professional voice user like myself, 2 days of not talking, my muscles start to atrophy. Not madly, but it does happen. Okay, I think we've done this one. We move on to the teleprompter. Proceed. Minimize. Streaming setup 3. Cool. Record. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Avoid the Void, written by Swift Hound. A large swath of our galaxy is shrouded in a truly impenetrable void. Not the void of space, no. Radiation and matter travel through that perfectly fine. In the edges of the void, the stars begin to dim. Signals weaken. Gravity can no longer be detected. Rogue planets that get too close lose their shape as they spin all their matter into space. Any and all ways of communication and signaling breaks down until only matter exists and survives in perfect darkness. Even the physical vibrations of speech in a starship become muffled, distorted. Inside ships, the lights still function, but barely. They break more often, they require more energy, and nothing ever penetrates the void enough to see what's in it. We've tried. By the stars, we've tried. We've sent beacons that used every type of radiation to try and communicate back. Their signals faded long before they should have. We've sent ships in FTL. They slowed down to the speed of light when they entered. Were able to re-engage the FTL to turn back, and were lost forever, as normal thrusters could never counteract the speed of light. We've used FTL communications, like travel. The signals malfunctioned at the very edge of the void. Most normal ships only make it for a week before succumbing to fear and turning back, seeing nothing, hearing nothing, and knowing nothing. The furthest information we have are from the probes designed to shoot pictures back to us with its cannons. They only show perfect black for at least 16.161616 light years. That's the furthest the oldest drone has gone since launching. I went on an expedition into the void. Even before the void's effects began, I felt fear. It was the exact same feeling I had when night fell on my home while I was still outside. Looking backwards, I could see all the stars in the sky shining brightly as they were supposed to. Looking forward, there was nothing. Not a single speck of matter that refracted the lights of the many research stations. The edge of the void was irregular and in constant shift, bubbling. The edge of the void was irregular and in constant shift, bubbling and sloshing. It slowly expanded and retracted, sometimes seemingly striking at suns that had gotten too close. The effects started only a couple million kilometers before the void became impenetrable. Our ship was the fastest ever intentionally sent towards the void, practically guaranteeing that we'd be inside the void for at least 4 months before our ship's thrust could get us back. They'd made us sign agreements before letting us experience the fear. All of us were foolhardy, and only now were we even beginning to regret our choices. What most ships experienced in hours, we experienced in seconds. The view of the windows, the information on the scanners, our own weight on the ship's floor disappeared. And our own weight on the ship's floor disappeared from detection in the time between blinks. I suppose this was better. We couldn't get afraid of what was coming before we were already completely submerged. The lights required as much power as an artificial gravity had before to illuminate the holes of the ship like before. I guess I saved the energy in the void. Normal duties on the ship were mostly relaxed and shifts were shorter. Our reactor worked nominally as the void's vibration muffling effect took hold. Maintenance was still taken care of, but it was massively reduced. We had gathered speed before entering, so all our thrusters were off. When I woke up in the middle of sleeping, I sometimes forgot I was on a spaceship at all. It all felt as if there was nothing separating me from the void around us. The first few days went by without anyone complaining. We had extensive entertainment aboard to keep the entire crew happy. Everything we heard on the ship was through electrical sound amplifiers in our heads. Everyone was instructed to never mention the void or its effects. Effectively, our entire plan was to purposely blind and deafen ourselves from any of the void's attempts at our sanity. It worked for the most part, but the void didn't have to act fast. It only had to wait for a single individual to break under the stress. To our misfortune, our captain was the one to break first. Though she lasted 2 months, she had been assigned to the ship, not chosen to be on the ship. She never wanted to get this far. She had been softly forced by her family and the promise of glory. If only she had at least turned the ship back around before throwing herself through an airlock. We were left floating. We were left floating in an inert ship that would not take our commands. The captain had locked it all before leaving us. We saw as our captain's visage dimmed as her body got further and further from the ship on scanners. It couldn't have been more than 100 meters before nothing could detect her. Everyone got on Cheers, Crusader. Hope you have a good day. Everyone got on as best as they could, clinging on to the hope that the engineers could open up the consoles and let us go home. Their work was slow, however. They could not trip any of the tampering alarms. Or they'd risk jettisoning the very thrusters that could lead us to light. 5 entire years went by as we got more or less used to the idea of never going back. Well, the ones who hadn't joined the captain were used to it. 12 of us, from the original crew of 231, were all that was left. I suppose the careful vetting of participants truly was done well, considering none of the ones left were going more insane. The last crewmate's departure was 3 years ago. With as few people, maintenance became less and less important. Most of the ship was permanently locked up and unpowered. Most of the survivors were engineers. They used recreational drugs, talked about ship systems, the video games they played, and who had banked who. The 3 data analysts, myself included, often joined in on the drugs and video games, but the ship systems conversations terrified us. We still had 99% of our energy storage remaining, which was good. What wasn't good was that the navigation system had malfunctioned, and we no longer knew which way our ship was facing. This pretty much sealed our fates to die on the ship, alone in the void. It wasn't much of a shock, not after so long. Most of us had even ditched the electrical audio amplification and simply lived with having to talk a little closer and a little louder than before. It was the retirement many of us had hoped for, in a pretty fecked up way. There was romance, there was drama, there was comedy, and there was an unbreakable camaraderie between all of us still alive and kicking. The room for remembering the dead wasn't visited much. The engineers had hit a wall in their attempts to overriding the thrusters and resigned themselves to keeping us comfortable. I used a lot of my free time staring out the window on the bridge, hoping that my eyes could spot something the scanners hadn't. It was an illusion on my part, of course, but none of us had made it this far by being sane. We just stopped getting worse over time. A few of us had actually recovered from the worst effects. Not me, though. I kept staring at the black. After a while, I turned the bridge lights off and just stared for hours while listening to music. 7 years had gone by, and we had traveled at a constant quarter sea for all. 7 years had gone by, and we had traveled at a constant quarter sea for it all. Under 2 light years traveled, nowhere even close to what was the furthest we knew the void extended to. I slept on the bridge now, going to sleep while staring outwards. I still socialized and enjoyed the company of my friends, but not as much. I began dreaming of creatures in the void, long white spires of metal piercing the void and parting it from their path. I screamed for their aid, banged the glass that I had been looking through all this time. My hands hurt from the impacts. I cried as I noticed the pain. My friends could not hear me through the void's muffling, even in my dream. The pain in my hands reverberated through my psyche. I realized this was no dream. It took a while for me to notice the communication station lights coming online, having been roused from their long slumber by something. I floated towards the console and assumed my practiced task, though it took a good while to remember. I woke up the ship's computers to begin parsing the message being received. "My, have you come so far in the space?" A translated speech echoed in the empty bridge. A cadence shifted melodically through a small range. It was the first voice I'd heard in years. It was pleasant. I tried to speak up, but just a croak came out of my mouth. I realized it had been a few days since I'd last spoken. I tried again. We lost our captain. She went mad, locked the ship, went out. I kept staring out at the white spire, the only thing I'd ever seen outside these windows. It had no flaws that I could detect. Why did you come at all? The same voice asked. Its voice became softer, and the cadence varied more. Research. We don't know what this area of space is. We want to know. Curiosity, the oldest enemy of any cat, we understand. In a way, it is why this area exists at all. You are not the first we found here, but we wish that you might be the last. We will help you. Drop your ship outside the boundary, but you must deliver an explanation and a message in return. I was offered what we'd been hoping for, on a platter of platinum no less. I became worried about the message. I did not respond in time, and the voice began talking. The zone is the lingering aftermath of a weapon, if you can even call it that. It was meant to take energy from nothing and store it until the targeted reality string snapped. We expected a small, localized twist in the fabric of reality, one that would shut itself into a black hole. We found out that space was much more tightly wound than expected. One string snapping turned into 10. It began to cascade. False vacuum decay. False vacuum decay was the theory, the name at the time. False vacuum decay was the theory's name at the time. It wasn't correct about most things, but it got the rapid expansion right. Most things caught in the area were fine, however, not reduced to energy like we'd feared. But the vibrations of strings were greatly disturbed. They could no longer form. They could no longer transmit the song of existence for infinite distances. The great strings were no more than shreds, individually capable, but unable to cooperate. We now know that our reality is just one possible form of energy to coalesce into distinct forms. We know that there exists 1 trillion systems for a matter to exist. We had broken the barrier of sorts, allowing the nearest dimension entry into ours. It took us over 10,000 years to reinforce the boundary you know of, and we barely managed even that then. This area was a start and an end, but you'd never reach the end. The deeper one travels, the less the strings coalesce naturally. We are currently still in the very outer edges of it all, similar to a planetary crust. The mantle and the core are places you must avoid. There be dragons, so to speak. Whatever we caused, it allowed for creatures of the dark to enter. We don't fight them. We only drive them in circles around the darkest pits of this place. We try to keep them far, far away from true reality, where they would likely start feasting by consuming the spaghetti that is reality, with suns and plains being meatballs in the mix. They are clever. They follow the tracks of their prey comes and goes with. You have left them with nothing but straight lines to follow your tracks with. Avoid the void. End of story. No, it wasn't too bad. I suppose we can go back to this. Pting. Excuse me. Joe? 1 second. Ugh. So I've got a list of authors that have given me approval to read any of their stories, about 900 authors, which sounds like a lot, but a lot of those authors don't post anymore. Every couple of months I go onto the Reddit and I look through the top stories and I ask them, can I narrate all your stories? Just to save time and everything. And they'll either say yay or nay, and I add them to the list. So when I'm making my recording schedule, I just look at the list of authors, the stories they've done, sort of the upvotes, and then I just pick. Normally it'll be less than 20 minutes, preferably longer than 5 minutes. Not sexually charged, so no NSFW stuff for sex and all of that stuff. And for now, on TFOS, not series, which does occasionally happen. That will be like a 2-part series. So I will do those. Hope that explains something, at least. As you can hear, my voice is a bit just not happy. It's mainly because of dehydration. Roar. How low can you go? So here's my layer. This is pretty much my deepest voice currently. I can't really go much deeper than this. Joe, if you're on Reddit, just send me a message from the account that published the story. Give me permission, and then I'll do it. Well, I'll add it to the list. No guarantees that I'll do it. Or when I'll do it. And the, excuse me, it should be, typing it in chat now. It is AGROSQUERRIL. I know there's another account that is spelled differently with the I and the E swapped around, but that one's my one. Spelled incorrectly. The avatar is a green man with a box on his head, if that helps. Okay, so that's that done. We can move up here. So I've got 2 thumbnails to make and 3 backgrounds. I'm just gonna Photoshop. And we're just gonna head over to Rusty Trusty Midjourney. Outer space in the future. So just getting Photoshop up and running. I have to add another source. Manatharia, thank you for the membership. It is very much appreciated. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too badly. Possibly, Captain, but I didn't make any note of that in the story, so I don't know whether it's specifically related to another story. The other thing is, somebody might write a story and then somebody else is like, cool, I'll write a ending to it, but it's also a standalone story and they're not linked. It happens. Window source, windowed capture. What am I capturing? Window 5, we're going with Photoshop. All right, there's Photoshop. It didn't run away. I think this could be a little bit smaller. Not that one. That one. So it's to not cut chat off. We'd never want to cut chat. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is that one looks cool, and that one looks cool. So if anybody's wondering, I use Midjourney for the backgrounds, and almost always it's the same prompt, which is outer space, 2 words, in the future. Because if you tell it to give you a picture of a galaxy, it gives you a picture of a phone in space. So image number 1, it's going to be this. It's going to be the background for story number 1. I'm glad it's helped Monotharia. I really am. Always glad to hear that it helps somebody's day, especially pastime. Because sometimes it's the most difficult thing to do, is pastime. Especially these days. And need to actually email these. So that was story number 23601, 23602, and then 2361. And that's the second image. It's going to go into this first video for tonight. And then the third one, which will be this one. So those are 3 background images for these 2 videos. We still got 2 thumbnails to make, though. So. Imagine group of super nerds in battle gear during a battle. Nerds will win. So this is going to be off the... Really? So these are stupid. Group of super nerds, just got nerds. It gave me pictures of Avengers, basically. I think I've used that. We got good. Actually, like that one. I think this one works. I shall show it to you shortly. Oh, still in text. V. Something like that. Move this up here so I'm not bending my neck. This font is called, if you're interested in such things, Avalars. A-V-A. Just typing it in chat for you. L-O-R-S. L-O-R-S. There we go. So that's the name of the font. It's supposed to be a sort of sci-fi font. We can also... I think this font is actually more appropriate for this story. This does... Yeah, it works. Probably just going to make it a bit darker so it stands out a bit more. There we go. So that's going to stand out quite a bit better. Thank you, Joe. I will check that later and add you to the list. Like I said, there's no guarantees of if and when, but if you're part of the list, eventually get there. It's very much appreciated for the permission. think that'll be tonight's one. It's interesting enough. There's a science behind thumbnails, and I don't know it. I'm just trying to make thumbnails that I might click on. Okay, so that's tonight's one. Tomorrow's one is Avoid the Void. The void hungers. This one will probably go back up to Everlars. Okay. The void hungers. It wants its numbs. Alright, so imagine, where are we going with this? The void. Evil eyes and drooling mouth. Staring out of the void. Is that correct? Moustache. The void hungers. We'll kill you all. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I spelled void wrong, or autocorrected it to voice. Why would you have evil eyes and a drooling mouth staring out the voice? That doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. It stares back. I don't know whether this works. Let's just go have a look-see. I think this works. The captain. There is so much that can go into a thumbnail. It's ridiculous. Color theory, temperature theory. So the colors evoke certain emotions. So you want to lean towards certain colors of other colors. There's also a temperature of the design, focal points, action versus inaction. There's a whole thing about thumbnails. And just to not prove a point, just to point out how important a thumbnail is. Paint. I shall do just as an aside. Yeah, there is no final answer, but there are better thumbnails than others. What am I doing? Oh, I'm doing this. Right. I'm going to add another window. We're going to go, sure. Not that one. Window capture. So I'm just not trying to blind everybody. There we go. One of these days I'll figure out how to turn all of this into dark mode. All right. So when you're dealing with YouTube, there are several numbers that are very important. The first one is impressions. The second one is click-through rate. The third one is watch time. These are the three biggest ones that I know of. There might be more. Yeah. So impressions, that's based mostly off the title of a story. That is when you're on your feed and you see a thumbnail, that is an impression. Even if you don't click on it, that is classified as an impression. So that is title based. CTR is the amount of people that see the impression and click on the impression. Nope, come back here. Ah. I'm busy looking for the gear icon. I'm not seeing a gear icon. But it'll probably be in here somewhere. Properties. No. It doesn't matter too much. So, okay, so CTR. This is how important CTR is. So this is the amount of people that click on your thumbnail. We're going to go with 5%. 7. Hello? Are you working? It is confused. There we go. No. 5%. 7.5% and 10%. This will give me a video of 10K views. This will give me a video of 15K views. And this will give me a video of 20,000 plus views. So by increasing the click-through rate by 5%, actually it's probably closer to 30, and that was probably be like 18. So it's disproportional. 5% is still considered very good for thumbnails. So that is your average thumbnail would be 5%. That's getting some traction. 7.5% means you're doing pretty well with your thumbnails. And 10% means that you really know your stuff. 15% is viral. If you have a 15% click-through rate and a decent watch time, that video is going viral. Fair enough, Hippa. Fair enough. So many people have spent many, many hours studying the art of thumbnails. If you are good at thumbnails, you can make a lot of money. And by good, I don't necessarily mean an artist. I mean somebody who understands thumbnail theory, color theory, people, what your audience is looking for. That all ties into this. And this is for my channel specifically at this point, where if you've got a smaller channel, it'll probably be slightly different. But that's how important a thumbnail is. And watch time you get by making good videos. Some days I make thumbnails and I think they're a banger, and they're not. And other days I just slap a thumbnail together and it's a banger. So it's still a guesswork for me. And people who truly understand it are people like Mr. Beast. And, a lot of the Mr. Beastification channels understand it a lot better than I do. But I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum to them. They are on generalized content. I am on niche content. Which is fair enough. I have no problems with it. No complaints. But anyway, I hope that helps explain some of the YouTube behind the scenes stuff. Mustn't swear because keep getting demonetized. Swearing's bad. Anyway, so those are the two thumbnails for tonight. We're back to this. Now I can try set up some stream stuff. Make myself look more professional. Wait. We're missing something. We don't have chat. Where's chat? Good morning, Gaush. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, except when swearing. Okay, so we have you there. Just browser. Oh, I turned browser off for some reason. There we go. There's chat. You're back, chat. Don't worry, you're back. Alright, Twitch alerts. Seeing as we still got some time, 40 minutes for the 3-hour mark. I want to try and hit 3 hours every day this week. That might be a bit optimistic, but optimism is a crime yet. Edit alerts. Move this bottle over. Okay. There's a calls thing somewhere. Busy looking through setting up stuff for stream content. No settings. No. Goals. And there we go. Probably just going to have to sit with these settings and just work my way through it. So this will be another browser stuff. Browser. So in theory, if somebody subscribed, that would be it. The most subscribed, followed on Twitch. There would be a thing. Okay. I have no idea why it's making a noise. Just turn the noise off. Visual and sound. Let's try that again. That is teeny tiny. Very difficult to read as well. Oh, that's why I didn't change the volume. Right. Scale. That is a bit too big. There we go. Don't know about the star thing. There we go. Thank you for this follow, Wolfos. That is because people are joining. Let me just move this over here. There we go. So that should play with a whole bunch of stuff. DeSoda, Twitch has a lot more functionality with streaming. and one of them is stream alerts. So I can set it so that it'll alert me every time somebody subscribes or gift subs or cheers. Nope. Ow. Right, I have to set it. Sorry. I apologize. I really do apologize for that. I thought I'd set the volume for all the alerts, but apparently I need to go individually and set the alerts. These are all 5%. V Terrible, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Volume. 5%. That's reasonable. No, it was at 50% by default. No, not a problem, DeSoda. I'm just setting up an alternate in case, something happens. It's always good to try more, put your eggs in multiple baskets. Right. Yeah, Plan Z is always a must. And seeing as I'm streaming every day, might as well stream to both platforms. Ah, that's me. That's a lot better. We can... I think we can minimize that. Layout. Visuals and sound. We can probably reduce the size of this. That's much better. Don't worry, I mean, I'll still continue to stream to YouTube. I'm not planning to switch, but always good to always good to have a bit of a plan. Okay, so that was the first one. Gifted subs. Let me check something. Okay, so the font in that one needs to go bigger. Which I think I set to 48. And then I decrease this to 25. Yep, that works. As in aviator glasses, sunglasses. Enigma? No. Which reminds me. Glasses. No, I don't wear sunglasses. These are transition lenses, so when I go outside, these darken. Manatharia, there should be a link in the description to the Twitch channel, and it should also be a pinned message on... No, it's not. It should be in the description of the stream on YouTube. No. There we go. It's better. This one. Service definitely does guarantee citizenship. So one of the things I like is the engagement that Twitch can give you to your audience, like these alerts. They've got that down to a T. It's just a pity about the adverts. Do you still get adverts if you're like a Prime subscriber? I'm not sure how it works. I don't even know whether I can accept bits. In theory, I am affiliated, so I can get money, but I'm not exactly sure how. I apologize. Why that's so much louder? Sounds like a slot machine, if I'm being quite honest. Good morning, James. Really? The sound is at 5%. James, I do have a Rumble account. It is auto-synced with my YouTube account. So anything that gets uploaded to my YouTube account should in theory be sent to the Rumble account. Okay, well, that's at least something. Enigma. On YouTube, you still get adverts if you're a member, which is the equivalent. I have no idea. Why are we so loud? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out why this damn thing is so loud. 1%. 1%. Okay. So that is the volume set to 1%. So obviously, I do have a button that I can click to put ads on, which I don't because I keep forgetting. Oh, that could be because of that. So let's see. We're going to text to speech. Text is 48. We are going to 25. We're going to 5. 5. Ah, that's better. It's much better. No, you have to, they've got categories and it will randomly choose between one of the two. So you have to actually edit both of them to change the volume, apparently. So I just did that. Okay. So that is followers done, subscriptions done, gifted subscribers done. Cheering. Okay, so we want the text to be bigger. We want that to be smaller. 25. And that to be 5. Is that right? Yep, okay, so that's not too bad. It's more Mirror. Red works, or premium these days. It's a more consistent ad rate rather than the very wonky way that they do ads. Ad rates can change between days. Thank you, Terry. I'm glad you enjoyed. It was a good story. I think if it had gone any longer, it might have got a bit long in the tooth, which happens a lot with web novels. But I'm glad he decided to end it and then just start with book 2. I haven't read anything of book 2, so I fair enough, peanut gallery. Fair enough. Enigma, I think that's if you've signed a contract. So if you've signed specifically a contract with them, you have to play X amount of adverts per hour. I haven't. I'm just an affiliate. I live in South Africa, Psycho. We are in the middle of immigrating at the moment to Portugal, but currently South Africa. Okay, that's not too bad. At least it's all happening over here. Here. So it's not interfering with chat. That's good. So my accent's not a typical South African accent. I'm first generation South African. My mom was Scottish. My dad is English. So it's a smorgasbord. a cauldron, a mutt of an accent. Part of the requirements to get a visa is I already have to have a lease there. So the the firm that I'm going through, they deal with all of that stuff, because apparently there's been lots of cases of realtors overselling stuff that they shouldn't be overselling. So the law firm that we are dealing with, they do everything. So when we get to the point where we have to choose a place to live, whether to buy it or rent it, we give them a list of requirements. And they've got realtors that they work with, and they send this out. The realtors will send back information. Lawyers will check the contracts, make sure everything's fine. Once they're happy with that, they'll give us the options. We'll pick whichever one we want. They'll sign the contracts on our behalf, again, reading through the contracts. And then we'll have a lease for Portugal. So it's a weird thing that you need to own or rent to get a visa to go into Portugal, or the specific visa. Thank you for the kind words, Psycho. It's very much appreciated. Specifically, family dynamics, we'll call it, precludes us from going to certain countries. So I could go to Britain. I have a British passport. My wife could in theory go to Britain, but that could take, we try going to England for 18 months, getting that all sorted out. So nothing happened, just nothing. No communication, no anything. Portugal have a nice visa program called the D7, which means if you earn international money of a certain amount, you can go live there for 2.5 years, and then 2.5 more years and get your citizenship. They want your tax money, is what they want. So I earn international money through YouTube, so it's perfect for me. And then in 5 years, I'll have an EU passport. Thank you very much, Joe. Much appreciated. So far, the process has been a lot easier than trying to get into England. Good morning, Helen. Hope you're doing well. I think it's a combination of both. Bore you to death or bore you to death. I mean, I would be angry if I was being bored to death. Channel points. I have no idea what channel points is. Can somebody explain to me what channel points is? Is this a good thing? And what do the points do? Okay. Yeah, with the solar eclipse, you need to be in a very specific place to get the full solar eclipse. A little bit off, even half a degree, and you'll see some of the sun. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the content, Helen. Much appreciated. Ah, Goals. Goals? Okay, that wasn't too bad. Still sounds like a slot machine to me. I have no idea what my goal is in subscribe or followers or anything like that. Just setting up the alerts for things I don't even know. Charity, hub trains, channel points, goal. Okay, so that is everything set up that I can set up through Twitch. Okay, seems interesting. I'll have to maybe look into it. I did see, what is set goals? My problem is there's also goals I want for YouTube. So I mean, I'd love to grow the Twitch channel, which I am, and then have alerts and stuff. Oh, okay, so it's the bot, right? I do have a stream element. Account. Okay, that all sounds very. It becomes a bit challenging when part of the audience can participate in this stuff and the other part can't because of dual streaming. I think that's everything set up. Manage goals. Okay. Follow a goal. Taking over the world. Okay, so I need to add another browser source. This one will be interesting, I think. Browser. Sure. We're getting fancy now, chat. We've got goals, sounds, stuff. Right, I think that's enough fiddling with Twitch. Methinks. If there's anything else that, you know, normal Twitch people do, I actually think I'll plonk this at the top. Makes more sense. Possibly a little bit smaller, like that. Yeah, that looks good, I think. What do you think? Fair enough, Manathaya. Tharia, sorry. I'll look into it. I mean, I don't partake. I don't watch streams in general. I sometimes watch like VODs and stuff, but I'm normally working, so. Not to worry, James. Same time, same place tomorrow for some more stories. And the finished products will be available on the channel. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of implementing pseudo gambling into the stream. Yeah, Twitch it really does sound like a slot machine. It's just screaming at me the entire time. Now, if I go to this, it's all gone. So we're going to have to duplicate. That. So that we can make this smaller. Nope. These can all stay. And we're deleting this one. Like so. Like so. And then I think this can go down here. I think that works. And then we can have whatever I'm working on over here. And then the streaming, well, the recording setup. Here. Cool. No, that's not right. Oh, I know why. Okay. Stop it. I need to do. Thank you for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Othello Therio? Oh, hello, Therio. Thank you very much for the follow. It's much appreciated. Okay, browser. We're going to go with add an existing browser 3. Is that right? No, that's not. Browser 3, browser 2. Cool. Browser 2. Cool. Browser 2 is going here. And we're going by 600 by 600. Okay. So browser is gone. Nope, that's there. That's gone. We have chat above my head. And then thing over there. Enigma, as far as I know, you can, but maybe I haven't set it up properly. I am an affiliate, so I should be able to accept subscriptions. At least that's what they told me. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. We'll have to add in some window capture to that. And we got this. This is better. Okay. Then I might just need to set it up properly. Subscriptions. Yeah, it's giving me no options for subscriptions. I don't even have bits enabled. I can't enable them. And ads. I don't know. I'll have to get a hold of Twitch. See what's going on there. It's just giving me an error. Anyways, I think it's going to be me for the day. I'm sure most of you can hear the voices not doing particularly great. But fear not, this is mostly due to not sleeping. It wrecks my voice every time. Good evening, Mike. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'll look into it, Enigma. I thought, I've filled out the tax documents that they wanted and stuff, so I don't know what it is. But anyway, hope you all have a fantastic one. I will spend the rest of the day trying to figure out how I can monetize my Twitch properly. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic one. Cheers.